This week on Barbell Shrugged, we're in Cookeville hanging out with Rich Froning.
Pull.
Redo it.
Shaka bra.
All right, guys, Mike Bledsoe here with Barbell Shrugged. We've got Doug and I came out to Cookeville with CTP to visit Rich Froning and his cousin, Darren Hunsucker.
He can never say it seriously.
I for the longest
that's your real name.
For the longest time, I've known Darren for years. I don't see him like every weekend or anything like that, but I've never learned his last name. I was like Darren, Rich Froning's cousin. But now that I know it's Hunsucker, I'll never forget.
Monkey's out of the bottle, bro.
I would say everybody knows now.
Yep, everybody knows. So we came out here to hang out, and we ended up shooting some guns today. I'm sure CTP is going to edit in some really cool shots of that. Yeah. We did a live stream via Ustream into our Facebook fan page. That was pretty fun. Lasted about 15 minutes. We're learning how to do that, so it ended up being kind of short, but I think that's all right. If you want any more updates on what we're going to do in the future, make sure to go to fitter.tv, FITR.tv, and sign up for the newsletter, and we'll get you the updates. So, Rich, what are you were in Chile last week?
Yep, I was in Chile until yesterday morning.
What were you doing there?
Spreading the word. Just spreading the word.
Right.
No, it was for BSN. I went down there, and we had these little, like, 2-hour little Q&A type things, and then put people through workouts. So it's pretty good just to see the different
So this is 100% BSN stuff, not CrossFit
No, this
headquarters.
is a BSN thing.
Who are you traveling for more now? Or is it kind of like just mixed between
It's
everybody?
just a mix of everything. Lately, it's been BSN just because I neglected doing all my appearances before the game, so I had to catch up on a lot for the year up until now. And then now I think I've got one more for Reebok that I have to do before the end of the year.
Doing it right now.
There we
Reebok,
go.
look, he's
There
doing
you
it right
go.
now.
Right there. There we go.
Are you doing level 1 seminars?
I'm going to do all the close ones. So we're having one at CrossFit Mayhem in February, beginning of February. And so I'm going to be on staff for pretty much anything in Tennessee that I can get to.
You going to do ours next month?
When you guys?
We're in
When's ours?
January.
January 19th?
January.
Yeah.
I don't know, they haven't asked me. So if they ask me, then
Yeah.
might. So
Yeah,
I
man.
just-
Put in a request.
put in a request. There we go.
He's in.
It's in.
Darren, my agent.
So we just did a Q&A with you live, and you said you just did a Q&A down in Chile.
It's Q&As all the time.
Yeah, you feel like every single one it's the same thing over and over and over,
questions,
like
repetitive
Groundhog's Day.
questions.
Same questions, different day.
Different culture, different people, yes. Different language.
You ever get caught off guard and have any like really memorable questions where you were like, oh shit, that threw me for a loop?
No,
like right now?
There's the first one. No, actually, it's always,
I don't know how to answer
what's
that.
your diet? Even though I thought it's well noted that I don't really do any type of diet. And then how do I train, which I'm pretty sure for the most part I've told people that it's pretty much day to day. There's no, I think if people think that there's like a secret. Like
I don't think they believe you.
I know. I don't think so either.
I've had this discussion with people before because they're like, I know you've talked to Rich. I know you've hung out with him. Is he
You're not telling me nothing.
Is he BSing us? Like, I think that he and like Dan Bailey, I think they're just making it up, fooling everybody. They've got like this master
Darren,
plan.
you want to jump in on this?
Guys, trust me, there is absolutely nothing. It is so funny to hear. I mean, dude, people, because like they'll ask me all the time. They're like, "What does Rich do?" And I'm like, "It's the same thing everybody else does. He does CrossFit. He just does it better."
The funny thing is like me and Darren have literally done the exact same thing since we've started CrossFit, almost, and it's literally been the same since we started. How you feel today? I feel all right. What do you want to do?
I feel like hell.
I haven't squatted in a
You
couple
feel
days,
right.
so it's just like back and forth, that type of stuff.
Yeah,
Base your training off of how Rich feels.
it's terrible.
How do you think that training with Rich has helped you out? Do you think?
It's definitely got me a lot stronger.
Yeah. Do you feel like if you were training with people who weren't just a lot better than you, that I'm not saying.
Wow. Ouch.
No, I mean you're a great athlete, but you know a lot of the great athletes that are training in gyms, they're the best in their facility, and it's kind of hard. They don't have anyone to chase or anything like that. Do you think that's helped bring you up a level, or do you think that's
Yeah.
quite a big part or not?
Yeah, but like a lot of our training is just basically like stupidity. You know, I mean, you know, it is. You know, it's just pretty much like, how do you feel today? You know, just like you said. Well, you want to try this? Like let's try and make it a little harder. Let's try and make it a little longer. After that, holy shit, you know, like that sucked. You know, I mean that was terrible. Like let's try something else.
Do you guys do
You need
any?
to write an ebook called Stupidity Training.
Yep.
Like, Chronicles of Rich Froning's training.
Dude,
partner.
it would sell.
Part one.
Let's put a trademark on that. Let's.
So you have Rich, you have a degree in exercise science, and you probably have a deeper understanding than most people who are training on some good ideas and periodization, all that kind of stuff. Do you feel that even though you're kind of going off of how you feel, there's some kind of a cycle going on?
I mean, with most of the power lifts and stuff like that, I do usually follow some type of 6 or 8 week type program. I don't cycle them or do anything like that. It's the last time it was actually Googled just Russian squat program,
yeah.
and that's what we did for 6 or 8 weeks.
Did you use
Gosh,
did you use
yeah,
the
6
13-week one off the Wikipedia page?
It wasn't off Wikipedia. It was just like the first thing that popped up on
We don't
Google.
ever check
The first
Wikipedia.
person I've ever met to do Wikipedia workouts.
No, dude.
I've never heard anybody.
I've never heard that either.
I walked in my
gym.
I walked in my gym like 2 weeks ago, and was it the small off?
Small off, yeah.
I'm walking by the computer. Like we have a computer that's set up for anyone and everybody to use, and I see a Wikipedia page up with the small off squat routine. I was like, and I look over, and I was like, I figured out who was doing it. Huh?
Who was it?
I think it was Jason Mitchell, and
Somebody tag him.
this dude squats a lot of weight, so I mean I'm not gonna argue with him, but like
Right.
it was kind of funny that there was like it wasn't off of like some training website.
Right.
It was off of
just
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is everything.
Well, you know.
And people can go on there and write like whatever they want.
Just like the rest of the internet.
Yeah.
It's on the internet. It's got to be true.
If it's on fitter.tv, it's true. Know that. Yeah.
Infallible.
What so you have this base of knowledge. Are there things that you avoid? Like you're going off how you feel, but you're like, man, I probably shouldn't do pull-ups 5 days a week because that might hurt my shoulder.
I mean, of course, like the overuse, just doing the same stuff all the time. I mean, we do a lot of the same stuff multiple times throughout the week, but it's not like 5 days a week doing something. Like Darren said, though, there's a lot of stupidity that goes into what we do.
You got anything that really just kills your joints that you only do in competition? You just keep it out of your training almost altogether?
Pistols. I'm just not a big fan of pistols. I don't touch those until like the regionals. That was the first time I'd done them since the 2010 games.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that. Is that true? Like you'd never done pistols ever, and it was just in a competition. You were just like this, and just did them all.
Yeah, kind of. At
Pretty
the
much.
games in 2010, And then, like I said, I'd maybe done, I don't know, 5 or 10 pistols. Just like, I don't know, they just weren't for the most part. The beginning when I was doing CrossFit, they just hurt my knees really bad, just because my form and technique, just on squat and stuff, was so terrible. I was very quad dominant, knees forward, so I'd get a lot of knee pain, tendonitis type of knee pain. So I was like, I'm not going to touch pistols. But
that's probably pretty motivating for the rest of the general population for you to say that your form used to be really terrible at something.
It was.
Like everything wasn't just handed to you.
No,
you had to work
it's
just like
taken
everybody
a lot
else.
of work. And that, everybody's like the high volume that we do. But I think that helped me to, to get better at stuff, get more efficient at stuff. Because literally me and Darren started about, 100 yards from here up in Darren's barn. That's where we started doing CrossFit.
Running down the
And
road, mountain.
we never had any type of coaching. It was just each other.
YouTube.
Watching videos, YouTube,
Wikipedia.
that type of stuff.
Mostly Wikipedia.
But, doing the journal, like reading the journal, trying that type of stuff. But as far as like an actual coach, neither one of us have been actually coached, unless you call each other technically.
Yeah. How much of your conditioning is made up
good.
from like rowing, airdyne, stuff like that? Or is most of your conditioning coming from things like pull-ups and squats and stuff like that?
A lot of it's rowing and airdyne, but then usually 1 or 2 like CrossFit style metcons a day, and it may be an interval metcon, maybe a traditional 12-minute AMRAP, or it varies really, to be honest.
And that's by feel also?
Do what?
That's by feel also?
Yeah. Or it's by feel, or what I haven't done in a while in a workout, or a combination of stuff. So it's a lot of by feel, how I feel.
Do you log your workouts?
No. I wish we would have done that for a while.
I'm actually the same way.
on.
I will sit and plan workouts.
Yep.
I'll plan way out for myself and stuff like that. But as far as like recording results, and I tell people, you have to record results. If you want to
keep up
if
with
you
it.
want to get results and and people are like, so where's your log?
What
Doctors
we've
make
got
worse patients.
we've got Watify in our box. I was doing a little plug for them.
Oh yeah.
No, but it's
What
actually
is
pretty
Watify?
good. It's a program that it's set up to where we've got 2 TVs set up in the gym. That one has the actual workout of the day on there, and then people log in to the class, and then they put their results in, and it actually has it.
How do they log in?
Can
they use their own device, or do they have to log in at the gym?
Both. They can use their own device or at the gym, and it's actually a pretty handy thing. It keeps track of all their their named workouts, keeps track of their lifts. It's actually a pretty beneficial program. So
That's pretty cool.
It's cool.
You just go to Watify.com if you want that.
Yeah, you try it out.
I'll check that out.
That's
pretty
a
good. I can
paid
show
for
you.
service, or that's free?
I think we've got it free perks, but I
know
think
who I am?
I don't think you're supposed to. I don't think you're supposed to tell people that.
they don't care. But I'm pretty sure you just pay per member. Like the member's kind of like $2 or something like that per
There's
month.
a lot of services like
and
that.
it's actually a pretty
it actually is probably
because
one of the
people
most
get
helpful
fired
things
up
we
because
have.
they can actually see the progress. We make sure everybody logs in and everybody puts their stuff in, but it just keeps track of it for them, so they can't lose it, they can't screw it up. It's
How can they access their profile? Is their profile on like the Watify website, or can they access it through your website, or do you
it's
know?
on there. Well, either one, I think.
There's a login. There's even like an app, like for your phone. Like you can get like a Watify app, and if you have the login and pass, like your ID, you just log in and you can see everything. You see the workout of the day, people's times, who has the fastest time, who has the slowest time, who used the most weight,
that type of stuff.
who did it RX'd. So it's actually pretty cool. Because people come in and they see that, and it has it for like each class too. You can break it down by each class. Pretty handy.
That records all the times of everyone at your gym or everyone that has that app?
Everybody at our gym.
At our gym.
Yeah. Yeah. For that, for like that workout, like it'll tell you everything about like that workout.
How hard is it to input the WOD?
Not hard at all.
It's
I
easy.
can show you when
Takes 30 seconds.
That's one of the things that I don't like about those programs a lot of times. I get intimidated real fast because I've been doing it this way for years, and they're like, all right, now you're going to change it. I'm like,
It's actually
I
pretty
don't
easy.
know.
You go in the program, and then you can set it up to where it'll post to the website on its own.
perfect.
So it's actually pretty sweet setup.
you may have just convinced me.
I know.
I'll definitely check it out in the
Yeah.
very least.
Yeah, and they're pretty good about there's some things that need to be changed. Nothing major, but they're working on it, and that's part of the deal with us is we give them feedback on what needs to be changed or what stuff needs to be added.
Very cool.
I got a question for you. So, 10, 20 years from now, obviously, you're big into fitness and you'll probably be working out the whole rest of your life, but maybe not, competing to be, top in the world. What kind of stuff are you going to keep in your workouts, and what are you just going to throw away and be like, fuck this, I am never doing that again because I hate that shit?
I don't know. Running.
Working out.
I saw you had a really big
Working
hill
out
coming
is
in here.
hard.
You guys run that hill?
We've ran that hill, once, Darren?
Gosh, yeah.
We've ridden our bikes up it a couple of times. That hill is miserable.
I feel like the bikes would be almost
It's
worse.
it's a
pretty
5K
bad.
from the bottom.
From the bottom to here, it's almost exactly a 5K.
I didn't believe my GPS at first. I was like, 3 miles. It'll take us like 3 minutes. It's like 10 minutes later.
You're like, where the
This is
heck
hard.
are we?
And I'm in
Backwards, Tennessee.
But I was in a Prius. That was part of
Yeah,
the
that
problem.
was-
That Prius was struggling getting up that hill. We kept joking about you were going to come jogging up next to us and pass us.
I thought about running it over when I pulled into the driveway, but
I thought we were about to get run over. I'm looking at my GPS like, are we in the right spot? And this big pickup truck comes flying up. I can see it in the rear view.
Yeah.
Freaked me out. Not my Prius, folks. I'm just kidding. I mean, well, it's not, but I wouldn't be embarrassed if it was. It's a sweet car to travel in.
it's cute. So cute.
CTP's car is sweet for traveling. We got all the way here without having to pump gas, and we'll probably get most of the way home without pumping gas. So
It's pretty good.
Wow.
and it's a quiet ride. It's nice.
And there's
Have we run out of things to talk about already?
and there's 3 dudes in it. That makes it even better.
Three
Back to your
grown men.
question, though, I'll probably Olympic lift more. That's what I enjoy.
Did you go to the American Open?
No, I did not.
No.
I kind of wish I would have, but
They didn't invite you.
no, I never got an invitation.
Bunch of jerks.
You didn't get invited to
Not that I know.
the to the.
Whoa.
You didn't get invited to the Outlaw Open.
Oh, that one, yes. I did get
I was
invited
going
to
to say,
that.
what is Rudy thinking?
I did get invited to that one, but I didn't go.
Somebody
no.
get him on the line.
I was in Chile.
That's right. Oh, yeah,
that's right.
I knew that. Oh man. Yeah, when we talked last time, I was like, man, you should do the American Open. You could totally qualify that. I remember that was the last podcast.
Gotcha, yeah, okay.
So you're gonna do nationals for weightlifting now, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Get you
For
qualified.
your gym? Is that what, or for your
That's right. On
barbell
Team
club?
Faction, right?
I don't care. Yeah. My way. Yeah, you can join my weightlifting club. I don't care.
I can coach you.
That's right. I'm Rich Froning's coach. the coach he doesn't use.
The funny story about that one, some of you guys may know Thomas Cox, whoever listens to this, but he's one of the guys that I actually train with. And he went to HQ, and
Where is HQ?
I don't really know. But no, he was at Media HQ
like,
in
where is the
Santa Cruz,
internet?
California. But remember that show, Where's Carmen Sandiego? That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
made me think of. Anyway, random thought. But so Thomas he was on a recruiting trip because he's the offensive line coach for Tennessee Tech. And he showed up to HQ because they knew that he trained with me. And there was a Twitter, I think it was Twitter or on Facebook. It said, we have Rich Froning's coach in the house today. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask him? And the question I asked was, who's Rich Froning's coach? And then they were like, Thomas Cox, do you know him? And I was like, he's not my coach. So it's always a joke with Thomas. He's like, I swear I didn't say that. But I was like, yeah, sure he didn't.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
It's okay.
Let's take a break real quick and shoot some guns. Everyone down?
I'm totally down for that. I thought Rich was going to be shooting the guns during.
Welcome back to Technique Wad. Today I want to talk about pistols. This is probably my favorite go-to movement for any time that I'm on vacation. I recently just got back from a pretty long trip. I was gone for about 3 weeks, and there's no barbells. We could use our backpacks if we wanted to weight ourselves a little bit, but as far as getting a decent load on our legs, pistols are pretty much our only option. So my legs are all pistoled out for the moment, but they're really fresh in my mind, all the ways that I had to potentially scale, or the people that I was with on the trip had to scale their pistols. So pistols can tend to be problematic for two specific types of people, Number one, anyone that has a very limited range of motion at the ankle joint is going to have a hard time doing pistols. You can see if I can't bend my ankles very much, if I get to about here, then I'm going to start to fall over backwards during the pistol. You're going to have a lot of ankle range of motion here to be able to get down that low. So the way that you test that was the way that I was standing originally, both feet together, you want to put your arms out in front of you and try to go all the way down. If you can't get all the way down like this without falling over backwards, then you probably have some type of restriction, usually at the ankle, that's limiting you in your pistol range of motion. So that's the first thing. If you can't do that, then you're gonna probably want to spend a good bit of time stretching your ankle joints to see if you can get that range of motion. That way you can get full depth, on your pistol. If you can't, that's no big deal. Doesn't mean you can't do any single leg work. There's all kinds of variation that you can do to scale the movement until you have that full ankle range of motion. If not, then you're gonna end up going down, and then your foot's gonna rotate out, and your knee's gonna dive in, and you're gonna look like the guy that does the awful squat like this, except you're gonna be on one leg when you do it. But still, it's just as hard on your knee as doing it when you're doing a bilateral movement like a squat or a deadlift. So we want to avoid that, keep our ACL meniscus area of our knee healthy for as long as possible. So to scale the pistol, there's a couple different ways you can do it. Probably my number one favorite way, kind of like a level 1 scaling, is to grab a set of rings, walk them back, and then as I go down, I push the rings out in front of me, and then I pull myself back up. Just like this. So that's kind of my level 1. Level 2, I like to hold on to a band. If you want, you can pull the band, I'll be at an angle here. You can pull the band back into you. That way, it'll keep you from falling over backwards, and it also helps you up just a little bit, but not quite as much as the rings do. So again, same thing, I can go down, and the band will help me up. Level 3, I like to do partial movements. Usually what I do is I sit down onto something, right around thigh parallel, maybe higher. If you need to start higher, that's okay. I put my feet all the way together. I never let people start like this. That's that same position we just talked about, which is hard on your knee. So I want you to start here, foot straight ahead, and then put one leg out in front of you, arms forward, and kind of rock into it and stand up. Ideally, you would do that, again, without moving your foot. A lot of people will go here, they'll go to rock forward, and they'll go like this. And they'll step their foot out into that kind of wompy knee position where you're getting twisting at the knee, and again, that's very hard on your knee. So keep your foot right where it is, feet together, one leg straight ahead, drive through your heel. If you want to try to control it back down into the same spot, that's a good way to do it. If you want to start at the bottom and just do the up portion and then sit yourself back down and go again, that's a good variation to start with also. So that's level number 3. And then level number 4 is the full pistol. You could debatably say that holding a weight out in front of you is considered scaling, because in some respects it makes it easier. Even though it's technically heavier, it still makes the movement a little bit easier by providing a little bit of a counterbalance so I don't fall over at the bottom. Where even though this is lighter, it's easier for me to fall over backwards. I like to have a little bit of a counterbalance for me personally. And if you want to have kind of like a level 3.5, one thing I didn't mention is that you can just do negatives. For a lot of people, I have them just go all the way down and then just sit all the way on the ground. And what that does is for all the people that get halfway down and they go, and they kind of get scared, like, I'm not gonna make it back up. Well, they're probably right. They might not be able to make it right back up the first couple times that they try it, but eventually you have to go through that range of motion all the way through and get comfortable with it, even if you just end up sitting on the ground to start with. Eventually, as you gain strength, you will be able to go through that full range of motion, but if you never go through that bottom portion, then you're never training the muscle through that range of motion, even if in the beginning it's only that eccentric part of the lift where you're actively muscle lengthening. So that's how I prefer to scale pistols. If you want to make them a little bit harder, obviously you can always add more weight. You can put chains around your neck, you can hold a kettlebell or a plate, or you can put a weight vest on. There's all kinds of options for the pistol. The only little thing that I didn't mention, I don't recommend this all the time, but you can, I'll use this. You can, if you have plenty of strength but no ankle mobility, just to train that whole range of motion, you can go down all the way with your heel elevated up on something to kind of take your ankle out of it, or take that limitation out of it so you can train the full range of motion as you're trying to improve your mobility at the ankle joint. So you got all kinds of options. Hope you enjoy it. See you tomorrow.
Welcome back. We have moved locations. We went to CrossFit Mayhem, which is 20 minutes away for some people and 10 minutes away for others.
Less gunfire here,
Yeah, so actually,
at least inside.
well, the first part of the journey, you can go as fast as needed, but through town is miserable.
Yeah, we noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, CTP was having a rough time keeping up with you in his Prius.
Yeah, the Duramax has a little bit more power than the Prius.
You're like, here's the address just in case you can't keep up. I'm like, I don't know. And you were like,
Yeah, that and I've
country roads, man.
Yeah, that I've driven that path probably, I don't know, like countless times. I mean, that's where I grew up, so
Yeah.
lots and lots of driving on that.
Yeah.
No, we literally popped the hill and you were gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured that's what was going to happen, so I didn't want to, just completely ditch you, so I gave you the address.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a few summers when I was a kid hanging out in the country, my cousins and stuff like that lived out there, that's how they drove.
Oh, yeah.
And I was always like, 100 miles an hour, okay.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Normal.
Yeah. Yeah, and then now that I have the truck that can actually like pull those hills and stuff, it makes it even more fun.
Yeah.
Is this one of those towns where when you get pulled over, you're like, hey, Bob?
Yeah.
And like, you know all the police officers?
I know the police officers because I worked at the fire department, so it's a little bit different. But, I mean, for the most part, you know most of the guys.
How big is the town of Cookeville?
I think there's like 40,000 in the, in Cookeville, but then there's like 4 or 5 smaller towns right around here that everybody works here. So, during the day, Monday through Friday, there could be anywhere from like 75,000 to 100,000, I think is what they say. So, I mean, if you guys didn't notice from traffic, it gets pretty ridiculous just for how small you
So
think
people were
Cookeville is.
traveling into Cookeville to do some work.
Yeah.
So I remember last time we were on the show, you said that in this small town, even though it's a small town, you still didn't have like this like overwhelming celebrity status.
Yeah, no.
Like a lot of the CrossFitters might think you would have,
Right.
But you're still just a regular
rich.
guy.
Yeah, just rich to most of the people here, so it's
No,
pretty good.
no statues.
Almost a year
No
later.
statue. I did get the key to the city,
Did you?
which does absolutely nothing.
I'm always wondering
what
about
does that mean?
I
Did
don't
they really
even know
give you
what
a
it means.
key?
They gave me a key. It's like, whatever. But it's like an old looking skeleton key that says City of Cookeville on it, and it does absolutely nothing. It's just
Didn't Master P get the key to Memphis? Are you on the level of Master P?
I don't know. Cookeville maybe not the same as Memphis, but and then I got some letter from the state, letter of recognition from the state. So that's whatever.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we're at CrossFit Mayhem, which is your second location, third location? What gym is this?
Well, technically second for Mayhem, but third if you count CrossFit Cookeville. So after me and Darren, we trained for probably 6 months in Dad's barn. We were like, all right, we'll start, training people. Mm-hmm. And so we actually opened up a gym, and we weren't affiliated at first just because we couldn't afford it and that type of stuff. Well, then after regionals in 2010, Dave Castro was like, hey, let's get you affiliated. So we affiliated, and we're CrossFit Mayhem, where you went the first time. And that was actually the second location of Mayhem. And then when I started
So the first location would be the barn?
Well,
What were you saying?
no. The first location was actually in like a gymnastics. We were kind of just in the corner. We had some family friends that owned a gymnastics.
Oh, I think I remember you
place.
telling me about that. Yeah.
That's
so
a
we
bad
were-
place to start. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we kind of started there and then moved right down the street to where you saw. And then I started working for Tennessee Tech, and it just got too crazy to run an affiliate, train, and coach at Tech. So Chip was actually running CrossFit Cookeville out of the weight room at Tennessee Tech. So we just closed Mayhem at that point, and then kind of joined with CrossFit Cookeville. Well, then year after that, we decided we just couldn't run the class through there because it was one class a day, and then it got to be where athletes were in there most of the time. They have precedence over the place anyway.
Right.
So it just got to be too much of a cluster. So I was like, I at that time I was not really. I was forced to resign at Tennessee Tech when I took the supplement deal with BSN. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I didn't have anything to do from
What were you actually doing at Tennessee Tech?
I was the assistant. I guess the assistant strength coach was my title. I was more of an intern. It was like you work.
So you can't
67.
do that and have a supplement company sponsor you?
They said not. They said it set a bad example for the athletes, so I needed to make a choice. But when I was working,
Being like NCAA type rules.
Rich Froning, the bad example.
Never heard that before.
yeah, so it was whatever. So for I guess from the beginning of February till the games, I trained at the house. So I trained out of the garage, did all that stuff, and then after the games we opened this place up. So that's the journey of CrossFit Mayhem to CrossFit Cookeville back to CrossFit Mayhem.
Okay.
Yeah, this place is pretty impressive.
The place is very impressive.
It
Bill
is.
set us up
I had
real
the-
well with Rogue.
I had the whole idea of the original CrossFit Mayhem.
Yeah, the block
And
building.
we're driving through the city on the way here, and most of the buildings are a little bit older. And so I was thinking maybe y'all got like a old auto
You're right.
garage or auto parts place or something like that. And we kind of like, oh, they got the new building in town.
Well, this is actually this building was built in 1920, but it was
new
revamped.
building.
Like if you go,
it looks new.
it looks
Yeah.
new because it's been redone, but
Right.
it's actually connected. This was a shirt factory, and the building over there, which we originally looked at, is a lot bigger, but it's all wood floor, and we were like, that's not going to work. So,
Yeah.
but it was a lot more space. There's like 10,000 square foot. over
How
there.
big is this place?
We got right just over 4,000 in there, and
Mm-hmm.
then like 1,200 in here.
Okay.
So which
Yeah,
is funny.
we're standing right now in the room that's, it's obviously smaller, like Rich just said, but this is kind of where you like to train a little bit on
I
your
like to
own.
train a little bit,
Bring
and
some new clients in and stuff like that. Kind of get away from the bigger classes in the other room. The equipment setup is pretty unique compared to most CrossFit gyms. I noticed that a lot of your Rogue Rig stuff is it's a little more
Beefy.
robust.
Yeah, it's the new monster rig. So I think it was the first one in the U.S., the first one ever, I'm pretty sure. But like I said, when we were trying to figure out what we were gonna do about equipment, Bill was like, "What do you need?" And I was like, "You guys do this for a living. Tell me, set us up." So he literally just every day was Christmas, and then they sent some guys down to help us set up the big rig, but. The biggest pain of the whole thing was, getting the floor ready to put the floor down and then paint. I mean, it's just a pain in the butt.
You guys did the floor yourself.
Yeah.
When I walked in, I was talking to Doug. I was like, surely they had someone install this for them, because we're like, man, we like our floors at Faction. We're like, well, I wonder if this would be better than what we have. And I was like, yeah, if someone installed it, that'd be great. But you guys
It's a
installed it
pain in the-
yourself.
Luckily, we had a good group of guys helping us, but at a few points, it was like 4 of us cutting it all, laying it all out. But then, when we taped it, you really need about 10 people was optimal, because it's got to be pulled back. I mean, like I said, there's a little over 4,000 square feet in there, and we had to lay it all out flat, let it sit for a day. Then we laid it all out. Then we had to go back and cut it and lay it. Then you had to go back and peel it up, lay the tape down. So tape the whole room. Then you had to come back and peel the other side of the tape and lay it and pull the seams and overlap it. It was a good
Sounds complicated.
2-day process, but it looks good now, but it was a pain.
Those big pieces of floor, I know we're all weightlifters and all, but that shit's
They're-
heavy.
Yeah, it's bulky. It's awkward. It's just bulky and awkward.
Yeah.
How many people said, just turn it into a workout? And you're
Right.
like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
sure, you go for it.
It happens to us constantly. Every time we move flooring,
Oh, I
people are
hate
like, just
that.
make a workout out of it. And we're just like, shut the fuck
Shut up.
Just
My dad used to do that. He'd be like, "Oh, just make it a wad," and I'm like, "Shut up!" Like, just shut up. He's like, "I got a wad for you. Why don't you run up to the barn and grab me a beer?" And I'm like, "That's not a workout, Dad."
not a
Like,
workout at all.
I'm like, "Shut
I'm not
up."
chopping your wood.
Yeah, exactly.
What are there any pieces of equipment you got in here? We were playing around with the yoke a little bit. Do you feel like that's
I mean, the great thing about the yoke is how
I don't know what
yeah.
I'm saying.
the great piece.
I drank a monster drink at
Rich
Rich's
was like,
house,
he just
and
took
I'm
over.
like,
jacked up.
I can't think.
I like it because it's just versatile, especially the taller one, like you were saying, because you can put a pull-up bar on it. You got a squat rack, you got a yoke, like you were doing some jerk exercises and stuff on it. So
Yeah, I've been having some trouble doing jerk recoveries at home because I actually got rid of a piece of equipment and wasn't thinking about that was a place to do jerk recoveries because of the rack, kind of like what's over here.
Yeah.
And I totally neglected to think that I could do a jerk recovery with a yoke. It's pretty unique because there's a lot of instability there. So you have to stabilize a lot more. So I'm going to play around with that when I get home a little bit.
Good.
Any other pieces of equipment you feel like really make a difference for you in the training, or something that you would recommend other CrossFit gyms get?
I mean, anything that Rogue makes is I mean, it's just good quality stuff, but I mean, it's so versatile. A lot of stuff you can do. I mean, the monster, any rig, but that monster rig, you know, it's got the attachments for like safety squats. I mean, we got band attachments we can hook to this type of stuff. It's, I mean, like I said, with anything that they do, they make it to where you can do multiple things on it. So that monster rig's pretty sweet. And then everything else in here is just your basic CrossFit stuff. But like I said, just the way Rogue makes stuff is always just completely different. So,
yeah, I don't know. I can't. I think that's all we have.
Yeah,
it's pretty much mostly Rogue stuff. We have a couple things from other places, but I'm kind of stuck on just going to Rogue for everything.
Yeah, once you figure it out, you're like, I mean,
it's worth the extra few bucks. It might be.
You pay a little bit less to buy cheaper stuff, but it's cheaper quality, and you might as well just pay a little bit extra, which I don't even know now. I haven't even been shopping around about stuff, but I mean, the prices are fair too, and shipping and all that stuff. And it's like I'll get a notification your order's been processed. The next day, next 2 days, it's there. So
yeah, and that's their customer service. I'm pretty happy with that.
Always.
If we end up with something broken, I just take a picture of it, email it to them, and they go, okay,
all right,
and then just send me a new one.
Yeah,
whatever it is.
No questions asked.
No, they don't ask what I did to it or anything.
They might now.
Yeah, they might now.
They're used to dealing with CrossFit guys like you. They're just like, oh, I'm not. I don't even want to ask. Don't tell me.
What do I do?
I don't know what's going on. Not when I get equipment sometimes. No, putting it. I think I'm more likely to break things putting it together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Luckily, we've had several different tries at stuff. So, like the first one's always, it's shoddy at best, and then the next 4 or 5, if it's a few other things, they're always put together perfectly. But the first one's a little iffy.
I'm pretty sure I'm doing something wrong. We've put together our fair share of Rogue rigs, but I always get
too many
bolts and not enough washers.
Yeah.
It's never worked out perfectly.
Never.
And I think they're sending us the right stuff. It's definitely our fault.
Yeah, you just use it wrong somewhere.
Yeah, we're putting. Yeah. I'm like, I know when I'm supposed to be using washers. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time we blame them, though, the people that do it for a living, we're like, those guys don't know what they're doing. We got it right. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. We did not screw that up.
And then it's like someone's like, well, the instructions are on the internet. That's hard, man. Going to the website and clicking on those buttons.
Let's be honest. Who's going to use the instructions anyway?
I know. It looks pretty simple.
You just look at what the picture looks like, what it's supposed to look like, and then you make it look like that.
That's what I do when I work on my Jeep.
There you go.
It's not running right now.
It hasn't ran in years.
Yeah,
might be why my
it's a
gun
project.
is already jammed.
I work hard on that all the time.
Project.
So what kind of things did you have at your old place that you weren't that concerned about getting here at the new place? Anything that you had over there that just sat in the corner, you never used it, and you were like, you know what, when we go to the new place, let's just get rid of that thing?
Just like plain, just squat stands. Like if the yoke didn't have that bar across the top, it's just a plain squat stand. You use it, but the racks have squat stands, but with the yoke is just, it's so much better. Because I've got 2 at the house. Well, one's mine, one's Dan's. But just having one at the house is just, it makes it.
Neither one of you let the other guy squat in your squat stands?
No. It's like labeled Rich or Dan.
You don't want to have to adjust anything?
No.
He's a little bit shorter, right?
A little shorter.
A little stumpier.
A little stumpier.
Nah. We're going to make fun of Dan until we get a podcast with him.
Okay.
And then we'll try and draw him out. I don't know. But I didn't ask him, so.
That's true.
We'll have to find him.
He was working, so I don't know what he's doing.
He still works for Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, he took my job.
Gave him your leftovers.
Yeah.
So how much yoke walking do you actually do? You do much strongman stuff? Stones or anything?
I do stones and axle stuff more than I do actually like yoke walking. I do a lot of overhead stuff with the yoke just for stability and like you were saying.
You do a yoke walk overhead?
And then
overhead walking lunges
with the yoke.
With the yoke.
to lower it.
300 pounds, right?
Yeah, right. But stones and axle, I do quite often, but yoke, just because we haven't had any here lately, I haven't done much, but we'll probably start doing it a little bit more.
At the games, did the oversized med ball kind of catch you by surprise?
Not really.
No?
No, because I've been doing
you said, we were talking a minute ago, you were talking about them being a little bit
yeah, you have to
lower.
get a little bit lower versus the stone. It sits up a little bit higher, and you can get a little bit better of a grip. The ball, you have to kind of like lay it over to either forearm to get it the other forearm underneath it. But
the benefits of the ball is you don't end up with no skin on your forearms.
yeah, you still get a little eat up, but not nearly as bad. And then also you don't have to worry about breaking the floor either. If you're doing it in here.
Yeah, I know about that. We've broken a lot of things with stone.
Yeah.
When I say we, I mean the guys training at my facility.
Yeah, the ones you coach.
No, not anymore.
Oh.
That and we had tacky on everything.
Yeah.
That shit is nasty.
Pine tar.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We had that everywhere. And then we had
All over the floors.
mineral spirits and all sorts. So then, like, the tar gets everywhere, and then they bring in, like, this crazy stuff to clean it up with, and then you're like, what is that smell? Like, coming the next morning.
Yeah.
And
Like high?
Everything. Yeah, and then the training session goes extra well. I do this good. It's like you can't even see the clock anymore.
I don't even know where I'm at.
Yeah. What, I can't think. It's that Monster energy drink.
Let me handle this, Mike.
Go for it.
So before the podcast started, we were talking about your celebrity and what's some of the craziest things that's ever happened. Let's hear it.
Man,
That was all off the record, Chris.
when I was in Chile this weekend, actually, people were like, they'd give me a shirt from their gym. They'd be like, "No, can I have your shirt?"
Oh, they want your shirt?
I was like, it was like my Team USA shirt from the Invitational. I was like, no, I'm kind of attached to this one. I can't. I'm not. And they're like begging. And I was like, I'm not giving you my shirt.
You think that was a cultural thing?
I don't know what it was, but I was like, I'm attached to this shirt, and this is the only shirt I have. Like, I'm not giving, you're not getting this shirt.
Like, they weren't just asking, but they, like, really expected you to give it to them?
I'm pretty sure, but then they were, like, begging, and it got a little, like, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like,
Like
I'll send you a Mayhem shirt when I get home, but I'm not giving you this shirt.
Right.
And some other guy was like, why do you have the numbers on your shorts? And I was like, that's kind of how that identifies in the games. And he's like, can I have them? Like that's
these shorts?
I was like, I'm wearing these shorts, and this is the only shorts I have. No. And he's like, oh, you sure?
I got a new business idea, man. We're just gonna take pictures of you wearing clothes and then sell that online.
Yeah.
We'll get it all made cheap in China.
That's right.
Just like fake Louis Vuitton handbags.
Yeah.
I think I've heard this before that people sell panties online. Panties that have been
You
worn.
heard about this somewhere? You heard about this. You saw it in a book.
Yeah, it's some weird story somewhere. And
Right.
you do the same thing.
Same thing. Might stink a little bit by the time it gets there.
Rich's Under Armour.
Yeah.
Oh, that would add value.
That was probably
Right.
a pop-up on an unknown website.
We're not talking about that.
So Mike was saying, or asking rather, earlier, if women are just throwing themselves at you, whether your wife's there or not.
But the fact is, it's like my wife's there most of the time, and there's just no shame. People have no shame. It's like my wife's standing right there. My wedding band's on. Like, it's obvious I'm married, and they don't care. Actually,
She's standing
my
like right next to
My
you.
wife is in here.
I
Somewhere.
thought-
I just saw her in here, so I was like, maybe we could try to get her on here, but I don't know if she would.
Well, you know what? Running the website for our show here, one of the biggest things that brings people to our website is the search terms Rich Froning's wife. Yeah.
Because
I
that
have
one.
no idea why that is. We ever
we
brought
were-
it up on an episode before?
No, we've never brought it up on an episode, but we were discussing it the other day. It's like the 10th most search term that brings people to our website. I don't know how.
How?
I don't know how. I think
That podcast. That
I think we
did
podcasted
at regionals.
and then we had like the first 2 or 3 podcasts like transcribed in its entirety, and I think that text is lost somewhere deep in a blog entry,
Wow.
and I think that's why we pop up for that.
Jeez.
But the fact that people are searching it
It's
is
creepy.
what kind of makes me
Right.
think that's
Yeah.
kind of strange.
A little strange.
So we're
So anyways-
debating why that was getting
Right.
searched.
Why is that the search item?
Yeah. So anyways, you have to thank her for our current popularity.
I'll tell her that.
We appreciate that.
I'll tell her that.
She is here. We bring her in.
I don't know.
Will she want to come on?
I don't know if she will. I can try.
That would be great.
Let me try to coax her on here.
Yeah. Let's take a break real quick. We'll see what we can do.
Coffee, tequila, barbells. Coffee, tequila, barbells. That's all you need. You are like, this is like 60, this is just like 60 minutes. I think you're gonna learn how to apply some very simple, powerful concepts to your everyday training and kickstart what you do in the gym and get about the business of being stronger than you ever thought you could be. You're gonna be so strong, your mom's gonna be like, what's happening to you? Who are you hanging out with? Your friends are bald with goatees. If you want to be strong, you don't have to shave your head. It helps, but you don't have to. Being as strong as possible is the coolest thing I can imagine.
All right, we're back, and we failed.
Yeah, that was an epic fail. Like, I didn't even get the words out of my mouth before she's like, I'm not coming in there. I was like, why? She's like, I'm not coming in there. She's like, I gotta go.
She knew.
She's
knew what was going
seen
on.
the show before. She was like, no.
Every time a camera comes around, she runs. And then she wonders why people don't know that I'm married. And I'm like,
That's why.
If you would get on camera and just show people that you're real,
This
might
is
stop.
Rich Froning's fake wife.
I know,
That'll
right?
be our next biggest search term.
Fake wife. But no, we were just talking about if she does CrossFit. She doesn't. She'll every once in a while we'll go to an event and she's like, it's just so inspiring. I want to do it. And then it never happens. And
I think she views it more as a sport since you
honestly,
compete.
I mean, she sees people that are very unathletic do CrossFit and try their best, and because a lot of these things aren't a competition. It's like showing people. She's seen every range of person do CrossFit, but she just never played any sports, never did any type of physical activity or anything like that. She's always been skinny, that type of woman that doesn't have to do anything and looks great. And she's just like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, you guy can't force her to do it. It's like, I'd like to say, it's not for appearance, it's for your health, but she doesn't buy that. She's like, yeah.
Right. What about eating? Do you guys have to eat totally separately, or does she eat similar to how you eat?
She doesn't eat anywhere near what I eat. She's a pasta and Mountain Dew, and that's about it. Oh my God. That's her two favorite things on this planet. So, but like I said, never changes her appearance whatsoever, and I'm just like, I don't understand it. So,
The pasta Mountain Dew diet?
yeah.
She should write a book.
That's right. She make a lot more money than we do.
Yeah.
On the pasta Mountain Dew, but I'm skinny.
I know,
anyway
right?
diet.
And I don't do anything.
Everyone hates her right now.
I know. So I don't know, but she's. It's good though too, because she honestly could care less about how I do in a CrossFit performance. So that takes some pressure off too. Like she's just like, as long as I'm safe, she doesnn't care.
She doesn't have expectations.
No, not like one day.
Just keep paying the bills, honey.
I know, right? One day I came home and it was when I did that 225 Grace last year, and HQ had posted it and it was on Facebook, and people were writing comments, and she's like, I watched that video today. She's like, I just don't get it. She's like, it just doesn't look that hard. It's not that impressive. I was like, thanks, Hill. I appreciate
Hey,
that.
why don't you go pick up that 225?
Well, it's like, it's very good to keep me very level, because no matter how good I feel after I've done something at the gym that day, I come home and it's like, why didn't you take out the trash? Why didn't you do, like, it's just, you're like, oh yeah, I am.
It's normal when you get home.
Yeah. So it's good because she doesn't give a crap about what I do. So if she cares about, like I said, my performance, she cares about how I feel about stuff, but she's just like, she could care less about how, what my clean and jerk is. She probably couldn't tell you what my clean and jerk or my snatch or anything like that. Probably couldn't tell you what the movements were. She's learned a little bit of that stuff, but
Yeah, I base my whole relationship with my wife on that. Actually, it's like, man, I hope I can clean and jerk 300 pounds a day, so Ashley will be impressed.
well, at first that's what I was like. She'll think this is cool, and I'm like, she doesn't care. She's like, I don't even know what that means.
You know what? I get caught up in the moment sometimes. The thing I think is going to impress my wife the most is that when I'm at a party and playing Guitar Hero.
Like 4 beers deep, you're like, she's gonna love this.
Oh my God! I was like, check this out. It's like you're pressing buttons. It's a video game.
You're like, so?
I'm like, oh,
pressed him real
she's gonna
fast.
want me so bad after this.
Because I look cool.
That's right.
Can you play real guitar?
I can't. That's why I put so much. That's why I put so much
Into that.
stock in the Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
I don't know. My buddy Chris Moore, who's normally on the show, he started playing the drums on Guitar Hero,
And then actually,
and then he started buying like the different setup for the drums. So he started adding the buttons or whatever. So he bought a real drum set. Now he can play the drums. So like Guitar Hero like taught him how to play drums.
that's cool.
And then I think drums might be a little more intuitive for some people, or I don't know. Yeah. Don't listen to me. I know nothing
I
about
know
music.
nothing about music whatsoever.
Just so you people know, Doug cannot whistle.
Yeah, I can't sing, play an instrument, and I can't even whistle. So I'm never gonna try to
Can't
play
whistle?
the guitar. I can do like a really high pitched fake whistle and a really low pitched weird whistle, but I can't do a regular whistle. I can go like, and I can go like, but I can't do a regular whistle.
It sounded like somebody opened the door and there was a draft coming through.
What's funny is Doug and I have been
can't do
friends since like 2006, and I just learned about this today. We were in the car, and I was like, yes, I've got something on Doug now, like over Doug. I can't sing or play an instrument, but at least I
But I
can
can
whistle.
You got me in that category for sure.
That's pretty funny.
I'm just... So you try to impress your wife with other things other than fitness,
She's pretty.
besides taking out the trash?
That literally is probably the most. That or doing the dishes. She could literally care less about anything physical, because like I wakeboard quite a bit whenever I did before I did CrossFit, and like I got to where I could do flips and stuff like that, and then I'd come into the boat and she's like, "You're an idiot." I'm like, "Did you see that? That was like that was awesome." And
was
she's
awesome.
like, "You could have hurt yourself." And I'm like, yeah, I could have. Like, it's just every time I'm like, she's like, I'll do, even in here, I'll do something. She's like, "You could have dropped that bar on your head." I'm like, what?
I could have.
What? So, but, it's just, that's how completely different our upbringings were. Like, my parents were like, "I'll rub some dirt on it, you'll be all right." Where her mom, great lady, but it was just like, everything was like, are you okay?
Pretty protective.
Hillary has no scars anywhere in her body, where I have probably a scar on every major portion of my body, where she's just like, no. She's like, "Well, I fell off my bike one time." I'm like, "Oh."
I wasn't allowed to ride a bike ever again.
Yeah, exactly. So
I was done.
but
Actually,
it's-
speaking of doing flips and stuff, you said you started in a gymnastics gym.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done like pommel horse or parallel bars or high bar or anything like that? You ever tried any of those?
No, I mean, flips and that type of stuff, yes, but no like real gymnastic stuff. None of the hardcore stuff.
You're pretty solid on a trampoline.
I can jump on trampoline.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not as high as the guys in the gym or in the Olympics. Did you see that? Like the.
I didn't watch
That's
it.
actually an Olympic sport. It's trampoline.
It's crazy, too.
Like, they're way up there.
Oh yeah, they're higher than the ceiling right here, and
Yeah.
they're doing like triples and maybe
Yeah.
like 4 times flips, quadruples.
Nuts.
It's fucking crazy.
I grew up with a trampoline in my backyard.
Me too.
And we pulled off. I think that will feed your athleticism a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you go back there every day and fool around for half an hour, like that's a lot of body awareness right there.
Yeah,
That'll
we
help out
did
a lot
of that.
If you ever
Fell
get a
off that
chance to
thing
play
several
on,
times too.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Fell off the trampoline several times too as a
Oh
child.
yeah.
I've gotten like to the point where I bounce and then you're not sure whether you want to try to like scramble in the air back onto the trampoline or try to go all the way to the ground and you land on the bar and the
Middle?
springs
Yeah.
and like one foot goes through the
Yeah, and then
springs.
flip over with
Dude,
the other one.
I decided I was doing. My brother and I were doing front flips off the trampoline one day. So front flip off.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, cool. So I missed and landed with my back across the bar. Oh. Kind of like just slid off, hit the ground, and just laid there for a few minutes. It's one of those things where I didn't move very well for about 2 weeks.
Right. We used to.
There might be something like I might get like a like an X-ray one day on my spine. They're like, oh, you fractured your vertebrae at one point. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Surprise.
You know.
Didn't you get sued one time for a guy jumping off your roof onto a trampoline?
Did. I think it was like for like $200,000. I threw a party and when I was in high school, and
Dude jumped off
this
the house.
dude, well, we were all jumping off the roof,
Right.
onto the trampoline.
Right. But the one guy that gets hurt tries to sue you.
His dad, yeah, his dad
it
was a
go
little
through?
nutty. No, it actually got dropped. His dad was being a little too aggressive with how much money and the way he went about, trying to get it. It didn't really work out for him. So I was relieved.
Right. Yeah, I bet.
Like 18 years old, getting
sued.
sued. I'm like, oh my god, I was just having a good time.
Yeah.
Man. And there wasn't even alcohol involved. I think we drank too much sweet tea, and it just got out of control. No, we used to do boxing matches on trampoline. Oh man, boxing matches on trampoline are the best. They'll last forever because you can't plant a foot. It's just all arm. You know what I mean?
Just throwing punches.
That's
we used to
great.
play football on the trampoline.
Oh yeah.
Like have somebody throw the ball off of the trampoline and 2 people scramble for it in midair. That didn't turn out well a few times. Like you start like pushing off and then somebody falls off. And then I'm trying to think any other crazy things we used to do on the trampoline. Football was probably one of the most
Craziest.
Yeah, one of the most dangerous. Like try to catch the ball and do a backflip at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like mid, catching the ball, you have to flip. That gets interesting.
I've done that stuff into a pool, but not on a trampoline.
We set up a mini trampoline in front of a basketball goal, and my dad was like, "Well, I'm gonna make this basketball goal like super sturdy," so he filled the entire goal with cement. So it's a post and put cement right down the middle, and I decided to do a 360 slam dunk, and my face hit right on. Like my 2 front teeth were loose. It was like, and I had this ball cap on. It's like took all the skin right off my forehead, smushed my nose, blood coming out, front teeth loose. It was terrible.
Actually, similar to that. You ever driven a jerk like into your chin or into your
yeah.
nose or dropped a bar on your head or anything?
Yep.
I've done that a couple times. You got any scars on your head from that?
I think I have a
Oh, you got something.
Going on your chin? Yeah, you got a little split there.
Yeah, I think that's from that. I'm trying to think anything
From a
stupid.
jerk gone bad?
Yeah, I'm trying to think anything else stupid I've done, just CrossFit wise. The ankle thing that we talked about earlier, that wasn't very smart.
Fell off or jumped off a rope and kind of landed on the rope on the ground.
When I did it, just kind of.
Yeah, one good reason. I mean, we're not the best at our gym about that, but try and get that rope to go right off the ground instead of
because we have like a ton of it.
Yeah.
So they're like 30-foot or 25-foot ropes, and we have like 18-foot ceiling. So it was.
Yeah. You guys have ropes in here?
That far wall.
Oh, okay.
And there we
I didn't see them when we first walked in.
because they're pulled up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Dad made a little mount there.
I think CTV probably caught it on the way in. The 2 big screen TVs.
Yes, that's Watify.
That's Wi-Fi. That is that's legit.
It's a pretty sweet setup.
That made me want to do it
Yeah.
in our facility.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we will.
But it could
I hate it when we interview people sometimes,
because you're like, oh,
and they're like talking about what they do in their gym, and our people are like, why don't we do that? I'm like, because we don't have enough money. Jeez, Billy, money doesn't grow on trees.
If you get more people to come into the gym, maybe we could buy that
That's
stuff.
right. Why aren't you bringing your friends?
All of them.
You got to advertise for me, and maybe we'll get you some nice stuff.
Yeah, we have way too many ideas. We have
Not
30 new
enough
ideas a day.
Yeah,
No time to do all of them.
The other thing too, like I'm in the bad habit. I think it's probably mostly my fault. I see something I like, and then we'll buy 1 or 2 of them or something like that instead of buying enough for a class to do.
Right.
And then we end up with a bunch of like random equipment.
Yeah.
And we've tried to get really good about that. Like, all right, let's get rid of the stuff that
We don't use.
yeah, and buy more of the stuff that everybody can use.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we don't have like a ton of GHD machines.
Yeah, because you got to have a ton to have a class. So
Yeah. I don't know. I think rowers make it hard too.
Rowers are tough.
get expensive and they only
Rowers
do
are
one
tough.
thing.
Yeah.
Unless you follow CrossFit.com last week.
I did. What did they do?
It was arms only
Oh, yeah, I saw
rowing
that.
and then legs only rowing. And
So
then
there's 3 ways to use the rower.
Scrambling for stuff to do with the rower.
He said it.
that was Doug. But Shepard actually wrote one of our, I don't know if you know Shepard Tate. He trains with McGoldrick a lot. And he wrote this really long story about why you might need to do like arms only. That's if like you're out in the middle of the ocean and like there's a storm coming and something breaks your legs and you have to do, it's like, oh, thank God I followed CrossFit.com so that I can be ready for this scenario.
Wow. Darren actually, he didn't do the workout, but he rode 500 meters arms only, 500 meters legs only, 500 meters arms only, 500 meters legs only. So 2K. Mm-hmm. Just like that. I was like, you're an idiot. Just sitting there watching him go. Like, why don't you just bend your arms?
So you don't bend your arms. So yeah, I guess it's just legs, yeah. Huh. I wonder if that has any like advantages to teaching proper mechanics. Because I know I break it down a little bit when I'm teaching rowing. Like, we're going to do just the arms, arms plus hips and arms plus legs. So
There it is. Maybe it was a skill transfer day, and people
Could
just
be.
took it as a.
yeah. Hey, I don't think anyone knows who's actually programming CrossFit.com. Do you know who it is? Is that a
Pukey,
secret?
isn't it?
Huh?
Pukey, isn't it?
Pukey's doing it. Pukey the clown.
That's what it says every day. I don't know. No, I don't know.
You're just not going to tell
No, I
anybody.
don't. Sometimes I'll get the work. I used to get all the workouts ahead of time. Now I don't. I think my email's broke. I don't get them anymore.
So they can compare you to give people something to shoot for.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always wondered about that. I was wondering, a lot of times they post on there, like, as soon as it pops up, like, these 3 people did it in this
Sometimes
time. I was like,
they'll give you like a week,
like, how do
At
they know
midnight?
that?
a week early. That
Yeah,
way
there's-
you can. That way they, because sometimes it gives people a little extra motivation to do it. I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But
if
lately-
you see, like, Dave Lipsum do it in this amount of time.
8,000 pounds on a back squat or something.
Right. Yeah.
Genius.
Brilliant.
But he's cheating. I'm just kidding. Don't hurt me.
I think that means we're done.
I think we're done. Did you get a picture of the sweet mural in the background?
That is actually, what this place used to be before? It was our gym.
What's that?
Random fact. This was a prehistoric dinosaur museum.
No
Awesome.
way.
Yeah. Every once in a while, if you look, you'll see like fishing line hanging from the ceiling.
I thought you were going
there's
to
a-
say like a ghost.
No, I think there's a pterodactyl or something hanging.
It's the
somewhere.
dinosaur ghost.
So we actually left that mural because it looks cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, I'm just kidding. We just haven't painted over it yet.
I'm just agreeing with Rich, so he'll think I'm cool.
It's awful, but hey.
All right, guys. We're going to call it a day. We're going to do a little bit of promo. Doug, what do you got?
What do I have today? Excuse me. I'll just plug the thing that I always plug, which is my mobility seminar called Maximum Mobility, which I don't think Rich has seen yet. Maybe we'll throw that your way someday. Get you mobile. Basically, all I do is go through each one of your joints, and I teach you how to find if you have any restrictions at those joints, and then I show you exactly what to do to fix those restrictions. So you can find that in the Fitter store. Just go to fitter.tv and click on the shop, and it's under seminars. It's called Maximum Mobility. Rich, you got anything to plug?
Sponsors, man.
Yeah.
I think we've already done all Rogue, of course.
Rogue, BSN. Come to CrossFit Mayhem if you're in Cookville.
CrossFit Mayhem.
Yeah.
Come on.
So if someone wants to drop in, if they're passing through,
Just let us know, CrossFitMayhem@gmail.com. And $20, I think. Like I said.
it's kind of like people are like, what do you sell that product for in your store? I'm like,
Go to the store.
I don't know. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I'm like,
call the
it's
gym. I have no
online.
idea.
Yeah, it's online. So everything's online. CrossFitMayhem.com.
Cool. And don't forget, go to fitter.tv, FITR.tv, and sign up for our newsletter so you can get updates about all the cool stuff that we're doing. Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you.